Evening, everybody. Happy Saturday night. Let's see if we get some screen here, and we'll kind of hope we have good connection here. Waiting for my computer screen. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. There we go. Okay, here comes my screen. All right, I can see me. Whoops, got that. Jacob, Renee, Judy, Healthy Disrespect, Jim, Fastball, Lorna, Harbor Prepper, Holly. Good deal. Okay, so you guys can hear me and see me. Yes, as you notice, we are in a different location tonight, and pardon me if there's a little bit of an echo in here. I'm in one of the bedrooms because where I'm normally sitting at my dining room table, there's canners going canning chili right now. So unless you guys wanted to spend the next half an hour listening to the canners go off, I thought I'd come upstairs and get away from that. So hence here's where I am. So okay. Hope everybody had a good Saturday, smoking hot Saturday across most of the country. Here it wasn't terrible. It was 85 degrees. The humidity was up there, but fortunately it was one of those days. Got out crack of dawn this morning, picked the rest of my corn. You guys saw some of it yesterday. I got more of it today. Took down all our corn stalks, put that in the compost pile. Went to the dump, took an e-bike ride, went and actually at the heat of the day today, went and sat in the lake for an hour or so. Just kind of floated around there to cool off. And then it was come home at 4:30 and make another 14 quarts of chili. So that's what's in the canner right now, and it's got another half an hour to go, and then that'll be done, and Mrs. P will turn it off, and we'll be finishing processing chili about 10:30 tonight. So yes, it never ends. So that was the kind of funny day we had around here. It's like most of you guys, it's harvest season, so it's like, oh my God, all the food's coming in, got to preserve it before it goes bad. And so just going silly running canners around here lately. So that was that. Wanted to talk a touch about this morning's video. Some people understood what I was talking about. I think some people had kind of misconstrued a little bit what I was saying. I wasn't talking about bugging out or going somewhere else. I was talking about the first couple of minutes in a crucial situation, getting yourself to safety. Okay? This was basically it. There's an earthquake, your house is on fire, mudslide, flood, whatever, and you need to get out of the house fast. And that was kind of my point. Whether the Chinese coming over the hill or whatever it would be. It's not the time where you go, well, I want to pick this or pick that, figuring out where you're going to go. No, the whole point of that was how fast can you get yourself to safety in a crisis, okay? Because if your house goes up on fire, hell, I live in a wooden house, obviously, okay? Got wood burns, okay? My house goes up in flames. My preps are gone. Okay, I get that. Okay, at least the ones that are in the house. But that can all be replaced. Me, Mrs. P, and the hounds can't. Okay, so can you get them out? What is important? Depending on the situation, you want to get, whatever money you got stashed at home, that's gone. Your important documents, some weapons, your bug out bag, and you want to be able to get away. The whole point of that video was to get yourself to safety. What you do after those first couple of minutes about where you go, that's an entirely different conversation. Okay? The whole point of that video was, can you get yourself to a safe place or out of a unsafe place quickly? And that was with what is important. Okay? Because who knows what you need. But that was the point there, and that was the exercise that I was trying to talk you guys through. So that was that. The other one today, if you will, this was kind of interesting. The prosecutors in the Trump case are now claiming that Donald Trump is trying to cause them harm or something like this. I mean, they are grasping at straws so bad. Trump put on, was it Truth Social? Uh, Come after me and I'm going to come after you. Okay. That's not a threat. It's a promise. Okay. But he's not saying, oh my God, like the DOJ said, he's calling for assassinations or something. No, he's not. Okay. He never has. But mark my words, they're setting him up again with this, going, because I'll go out on a limb here, right? With some of the questionable things about 9/11 or something like that, just put those in your head for a second, because there were no wings that hit the Pentagon, if you ever noticed that one. But so let's say that the DOJ finds some mentally deranged liberal and says, hey, you know what? We'll pay you $1,000. All you have to do is stand on the street corner here and push this button or something, and something explodes or who knows what. And all they're going to do is turn around and try to blame Trump. Trump set this up. Trump was calling for something like this to happen. And they're going to blame him. And then it's going to be, even though the feds, whoever, the DOJ, set it all up, plans, maps, equipment, training, whatever it would be, they'll blame it on Trump. Watch that happen. Watch that be what comes down with this, is they're trying to set him up on something. So that was that. Last one. For any of you that followed me on Twitter, not that I had a great Twitter presence, but I know some of you did, I'm no longer there. I've been permanently suspended from Twitter. I don't know why. They didn't tell me. I've appealed to find out why they suspended me. If it was for calling Stephen King and Joe Walsh Nancy boy pansies, gee, I'm sorry, but the truth hurts. So the other thing I'd say is, if anybody knows a attorney who really hates Twitter, let me know, because they had no problem charging me $84 for my blue check mark, but after canceling me and not allowing me to do anything, I want my money back. If they don't give me my money back, I think there's an attorney that would say, hey, let's go sue them. They're shutting down conservative voices and keeping their money. In other words, stealing from them. So yes, I don't care that Elon Musk turned Twitter into X, but it's the same liberal pansy asses that are running the show over there. And maybe he needs to learn, you need to fire these people who are afraid of the truth. So that's kind of where that one stands. So if anybody knows a good attorney that wants to sue Twitter, pro bono, because ain't like I'm a rich man, wants to make a name for themselves, I'll be more than happy to testify. But just let me know. So, all right, let's get into Q&A here, the normal Tuesday and Saturday night ball of fun that we have. See what's on your guys' mind, what you guys want to talk about. So I will ask everybody this. If you have a question for me, please put it in all caps, just like every other YouTube channel out there. Though I highly encourage everybody to have conversations amongst yourselves, because I don't have all the answers, but I'm betting one of the over 1,100 of you guys in here might be able to answer somebody's question that I don't know about. You guys want to know about milking goats? I'm not the person to ask, but I'll bet you there's somebody in here who knows how to milk goats. Okay. Kind of go through for that. The one thing I do require is that everybody treat each other in the chat and me with respect. Disagreement is totally fine. I've got no problem with that. You want to be disrespectful to somebody, you want to be insulting to somebody, unless Joe Biden happens to pop in, then you guys can tear him a new one. The moderators will take care of that quick. There aren't second chances. There aren't 300-second timeouts. You just go bye-bye to never be heard again. So, all right. Let us get to the top here, and we will go through questions. I will get to as many as I can. Mind you this, I just want to remind everybody, there's a lot more of you than there are of me. I mean, like nearly 1,200 of you. And when you're typing a question, it may be 15 minutes till I get to it. Bear with me, okay? Because I'm starting all the way back at the beginning was when you guys were still giving me 5x5s. Sometimes when I get way behind, the chat will shoot down to the bottom. I can't get all the way back up to the top. Feel free to re-ask your question. If I see it a second time, I'm just going to skip over it or whatever. So not a big deal, but bear with me. If you type in a question right now, I'm not going to get to it. I usually am 15, 20 minutes behind. If you have a question, my suggestion would be probably have it typed in by 9:30, 9:35, because anything after that, chances are I'm not going to get to. So, all right, going to the top. Storm Chasing Gal says, "Love your wood, Pinball. It's beautiful." Yeah, it is. It's very pretty in here. I can't imagine what it would cost these days to do it, but when the people who originally built this house did it, they at least did it nicely. So, Seth McKinney. Good evening, Pinball. What are my thoughts on mixing vermiculite in the soil for my carrot bed? Vermiculite's going to give you a lot more oxygen in the soil. I can't see how it would be any hurt. It's going to fluff your soil up, which is good. Honestly, I think it'd probably be a good idea, something I haven't tried, but considering my luck at growing carrots, probably worth trying. So yeah, go for it. Let's see. All right. Granite State Man, how many years have I been retired? I retired at the, what is this? At the end, I retired on New Year's Eve 2021. So that was it. That was when I said 18 years of recruiting, I'm done. That was it. And Mrs. P and I are like, the house is paid off. We're here. We're good. So that's it. So yeah, I've been retired for what, a year and a half? So, and I'll tell you what, I still have more to do in a week than there are hours in a week. It's like, sitting outside today, I'm like, my gardens are producing great. I said, but I'm embarrassed by them because of the amount of weeds in there, just because I don't have the time to get out and do some of the weeding and every one of the other 12 million tasks I've got to do each week. So, it's just like, but at least the gardens are producing. All right, let's see. Going hot. Blink twice if you're a hostage. No, that's funny. No, I'm no hostage. Not yet. Vicky Savage, I can hear you just fine. No captions for live. I don't believe they do closed captions for live. I set them up for all the videos, but as you guys know, it takes a couple hours for YouTube to go through and transcribe the videos or whatever it is. So if you're watching a video just as I put it up, or a live stream now or whatever, it's not going to have closed captions. So it will in a couple hours. Tammy, Southern Louisiana home. Hello, all from hotter than Hades, Louisiana. Yeah, that's pretty much everybody. I mean, from West Coast to Southeast. And I can't speak for what's going on up north, but I'm betting it's hot, but it's summer, guys, okay? I mean, I remember living in Chicago, living in Michigan as a kid, and it was like every day, all summer was in the 90s, okay? When I go, oh my God, it's 87 degrees. What are we going to do? Suck it up, Nancy. It's summer. So, that's about it. Let's see. Grumpy G, how do I do my chili for canning? If you go into the Cooking with Mrs. Pinball playlist, there is a whole video on my 510 chili. You can look it up that way, or I think I titled it my most controversial video ever. So yes, because chili recipes are, oh my God. I put beans in my chili, and this is why it's the most controversial, because I figured every subscriber from Texas would want to, hang me from the nearest oak tree. But yeah, it's there, and how to can it and all. Scott McHugh, great video this morning. Checked my bags and my vehicles, checked other preps, great reminder. Good, okay. If you already have a plan, More power to you. If you don't have a plan, it's time to make one because you never know what's going to happen. You know, I mean, this is my point. I mean, you see the tagline for the channel, prepared for anything. Okay. And we all think about reading, Armageddon books, or, it's going to be a war with China, or it's going to be an EMP, or somebody's going to drop a nuclear bomb or something. Sure, those are all possible things. An economic collapse, that's possible, okay? But so are things like a job loss, a fire, a death in the family. I mean, those are catastrophic events for individuals. Okay, it may not be all of society doesn't care if you lost your job, but I'll bet you your kids, your spouse, maybe your parents, whatever, they do. And, you know, if your house burns down, that's a catastrophic event for you. It won't affect me because you live 3 states over, but for you, that's an SHTF event. That's kind of what I was talking about. Okay. The original OSOC. Am I in my hidden bunker? That kind of safety. Yeah, I'm in the upstairs bedroom. if that's considered a hidden bunker, I got a lot of refining to do to my prepping plan. No, this is my daughter's bedroom when she comes to stay. So that's it. But that's funny. Going hot. Got out in 29 seconds. Had my rifle and ammo. Had no shoes or keys. Well, the keys are important. Okay, usually people keep those by the door, either the front door or the back door, whichever one you go out. But it's like somebody made a comment. It's like, oh, I got to think about getting dressed. I'm telling you what, if your house is on fire, I'm like, do the tan pants go with the red shirt or the brown shirt? I don't care if I got to run out freaking naked. It might scare the neighbors. Okay. But if my house is on fire or there's a mudslide coming down the mountain or something like that, I don't care. If it's a choice between my modesty and my life, I'm picking my life. Okay. I'll get over being embarrassed. I'll be alive, So, rather be alive and naked than dead and well dressed. So, P Fletch 83. I don't plan on bugging out unless it's a natural disaster. Fire, I'm digging in. Chinese or not. Okay, that's your choice. If the house burns around you, good luck. So, Huts John, could I go over why I chose a scorpion as a special friend in the specs on it? You got to go back and watch that video for the specs and everything like that. Why I chose it, well, that was the reason why I got the strike on that video too. But for the ability to put a binary trigger on there, and so I had something where I could have a significant amount of rapid fire, let's put it that way, to get me out of any sort of trouble. So again, you're talking a pistol, however, being 16, 18 inches long. I'm not sure exactly what it was. But, it's a lot easier to move through the house with a smaller weapon than it is with a larger weapon. I know people say for self-defense, have a shotgun. I do. I've got a shotgun. It's a bullpup shotgun. So, I don't have a shotgun like I'm going to go out, duck hunting or something where, rack it and I've got it up against my shoulder and I'm like this. I want something that I can, that I've now got down to 35 inches or something like that, not something that's 4.5 feet long. The same thing with the Scorpion. Carrying an AR around the house? Sure, that's fine, except Scorpion's a hell of a lot smaller and I can get the same capability out of it, albeit with a larger round, 9mm versus a 5.56, but I've got more maneuverability with a smaller weapon. That was why I chose it. Disney Up, Boiler Up. Would it be safe to add a little sugar to my corn when canning? Couldn't find anything in the ball or NCHFP P guide. I've never heard about anybody doing it. I don't see why it would be a problem. Uh, but I'm that's more of a question for Lisa over at Sutton's Days than it is for me. I'm not the expert on canning. She is. So that I'd throw that question by Lisa. AC Answer Me in Texas. Oh, okay. Fire drill time is about 40 seconds. That's awesome. Okay. If you're out of the house, got your important paperwork, got your keys in your hand, and you can be away from the house in 40 seconds, dude, you are the pinnacle. Okay. You are the top of where we all need to be. That's awesome. Cool. Deanna, do you think that having your pet chipped could be detrimental for bugging out? No, I don't see how. Uh, I mean, I doubt the government is going to start with diversity, equity, and inclusion scores on our dogs. So who knows? They can when they start doing. But my dog identifies as female, so I don't think our pets being chipped has a negative effect whatsoever. They're going to know it's yours. It's not like there's a chip. Your dog gets lost. It's like, oh my God, this is Joe Smith's dog, and Joe Smith happens to be right here. It's not tied to your GPS or something like that, where they can bring the dog back to you. So, I unless you've got some other ways of thinking, I don't. I'm all for the dogs being chipped. I don't want to lose my dogs. So, just not for people being chipped. You know, when we start answering to dogs, then the dogs can have us chipped. Until the food chain is the way it is, okay, they do what I tell them, not the other way around. All right, let's see. P Fletch 83, don't I agree with you? I doubt the feds would have to look very hard to find a liberal lunatic. Hell, all they gotta do is walk in the halls of Congress, find anybody there they want. Ann Palmer, we had a train derailment a few days ago. No evacuations, but made me think today's video was something we need to practice. They're perfect example. Imagine you're in East Palestine, Ohio, and when that all happened, and there are people going, well, we were told it was safe to stay around. It was, it was like, you don't smell it, you don't see the gas plume going up in the air. Yeah, I want to get away from that. So, but yeah, I mean, good point. There's one I didn't even mention. Train derailment. That any sort of chemical spill or whatever that's around. Yeah, there's another. I mean, there's hundreds of disasters that you may be able to be faced for. You're not going to have a different plan for everyone. Well, if floods, we're going to do this. If there's a fire, we're going to do this. If it's an earthquake, no. If we got to get out of here fast, how do we do it? It's no different than the fire drill that you do in the house. Okay, if something happens, we all meet down at the mailbox. But does everybody in the household know what their responsibility is? Your responsibility is to get the guns. Your responsibility is to get the paperwork. Your responsibility is to get the dog and meet at the car. That's it. And it's like, scramble time. Everybody knows, okay, my responsibility is, and that. Jack Bauer, pinball. Do I like Vivek Ramaswamy? If something happens to Trump, okay, and for some goofy reason he is not running, okay, or can't run, or is dead. I mean, that's a possibility too. The guy's 77 years old. Who knows? Okay. Ramaswamy would be my second choice. The more I listen to Ron DeSantis, the more I don't like him. As for the rest, I mean, who the hell else is there? Asa Hutchinson, Mike Pence, Chris Christie, Nikki Haley. I mean, I wouldn't piss on them if they were on fire. If any of them wind up the nominee, I'll write in either Donald Trump or Vivek Ramaswamy. For what I mean, obviously he has no track record, but nor did Trump in 2016, and he did a hell of a job. Okay, he's another businessman, run the country like a business. It seemed to work the last time. The liberals may disagree, but anybody with two brain cells knows it worked. So, yeah. Uh, let's see. P. Fletch. All Elon needs to do is add an I to the X to make Twitter honest. Elon's owned by China. Yeah, no kidding. Susan Lathrop, how many canners do I have and going at the same time? There's two, so each one of them's got 7 quarts of chili in it. So I'm boiling up 14 quarts of chili right now, and they should be just about done any minute now. So it's 9:25. I think it was 9:26 or 9:27. Would have been my 90 minutes. PNW barbecue. Do I can ground beef? Heard the shelf life is long. Yes, I do. And I've mentioned this before. For some goofy reason, I think ground beef tastes better after it's been canned than when it's fresh. Like if you're going to make hamburger helper or something like that, or macaroni and cheese, or I think the ground beef actually tastes better after it's been canned than if you use it straight out of the freezer. Fat Daddy's outdoor cooking. Am I in the closet? Nice sound. I'm in a bedroom, but it's all wood walls, and I've got the door closed, so there's probably a little echo in here. Yeah. So you saying nice sound? I know somebody's going to say the sound was atrocious. Sorry, guys. Okay, I don't have a studio with a microphone hanging in front of me and all the fancy stuff behind me. No, I mean this is a guy in his house in Tennessee. Forest Ghost Preparedness. When do I start your pumpkins if I grow them? I don't grow pumpkins just for the simple now. Okay, let's put this. That could change in the future. Simple reason I don't grow them now. Pumpkins and things like that will easily take over a garden. I told you guys the story about 20 years ago when PBJ was little, and we planted 3 pumpkin seeds out in one of the gardens. We were living up in Indiana. Completely took over that entire garden in the backyard, which was 10 by 20, 3 pumpkin seeds. And it was into my lawn, and I was when I'm mowing the edges and everything. It was just crazy. So, Mandy in Massachusetts, thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate that. Whoops, we just shut to the bottom again. Let's see what we can find here. A Cushnet Prepper, what brand of e-bike do I have? Well, we did the review on the Hub Alpha, and we did the review on the EUI bike, and the one I have is the Hub Alpha because it's the big one that will fit a big guy like me. So, and I mean, I get 25, 30 miles to it, but I mean, I can ride to the other side of town and back on it, no problem. And there's still a little pedaling that's involved going up some of the hills around here, but, we can all use a little bit of exercise. Llama Mama, what would cause the middle layer of my onions to be mushy, like rotting? Too much water. They probably just sucked up too much water too fast and they're rotting. I had a few of them that did that too. Yeah, they'll go black in the center. Just pitch them. They're bad. Hedge 774. I just saw this one. Jalapenos have wrinkles. It's normal. Yes, they do. Okay, I thought it was a question. I just caught that one real quick. Michael Eversberg, how are the fish getting along? Mrs. P was out there feeding them today, and she said they're getting bigger. And last time I was out feeding them, looked like they were about 3 inches or so long. But you're looking through water, so who knows? Not like I've tried to catch any. I won't even try to catch any until next spring. And see what kind of size I got out of them. So, okay. Just for your FYI, I just made a 3-bean chili. There you go. Good deal. It's a great way. I mean, the nice thing I like, besides the fact that I like chili, okay, but you think about it. It's got your proteins, it's got your carbs, it's got your vegetables. I mean, it's a complete meal in itself, and you can put it all in one jar and go, I'm hungry. Dump. 2 minutes later in the microwave, or 3 or 4 minutes over in a saucepan, you got dinner. So, let's see. Oh, I got to give you guys a story here real quick before I go to the question. This is kind of funny. So I said this afternoon, Mrs. P and I went down to the lake just to sit in the lake and cool off. And there was another lady it's not a beach, it's kind of the end. It's, how do you put it? It's the bank. Okay, it's kind of rocky or whatever it is. But there's 12 feet where the water isn't that high where you can sit. And so there's a lady who's out tanning or whatever. She's about my age, and she's got an umbrella up or whatever to keep from burning. And so Mrs. P and I are talking and everything. Lady comes out and looked like about half an hour after we got there. She goes, "Excuse me." She goes, "Pardon me for interrupting." She goes, looked at Mrs. P. She goes, "Where, your accent, where are you from?" And Mrs. P said she was, obviously from Moscow, from Russia. And the lady responded that she was Ukrainian. Now, no, there was no animosity between the two women or anything like that, nothing like that. But I found it absolutely hilarious. It turns out that she lives like less than a mile away from us. Been here for 2 years. That in the middle of Podunkville, Tennessee, we've got two women speaking Russian back and forth to each other because they both live here. Just saying. It's kind of funny. I see Constantine popped in. Hey, buddy. What is it, like 4 o'clock in the morning? You need to be in bed, dude. But thanks for stopping in. Let's see. Bloodhound Jed 1. I'm from Texas, and we eat beans in our chili. It helps stretch the food. Exactly. That's more protein. So, Ken Harrison. Not everyone in Texas has problems with beans and chili. I always have beans, usually 2 different kinds. Good. Okay. That's the way I do it. Okay, we already did that question, Huts John. Let's see. L. Ford goes, "Thank you. I'm prepared for a hurricane, but not a house fire. How compliant we are." Okay. And there you go. It's like, there's something to think about. I mean, and that's, if you think about these things, you'll come up with the plan. Like I've said a million times, there's no one size fits all the prepping. Okay. What I do is going to be different than what you do. You grow pumpkins. I don't, whatever it would be, I don't have to worry about her. If we have a hurricane in Tennessee, okay, North Carolina and South Carolina are gone. But yeah, I mean, so we all have to prepare for different things, but think about those things. It's like, yeah, this could happen to you. Nobody ever wants it to, but it could. Let's see. Valley Parks. Any prepper services like landscaping, handymen, or cleaning people in East Tennessee? I'm not sure how any of those would be considered prepper services. Sure, there's cleaning people and there's landscaping and handyman. I don't know how those are prepper services, so maybe I'm misunderstanding your question. Let's see, I already answered that question. Show us the floor. We want the 3-foot tour. Let's see if I can tip that over to the floor. There you go. So yeah, wood plank flooring. Nothing fancy. So there you go. Let's see. Sarah say, your video inspired me to get the bug out bag ready. We have 2. Good. All right. It's another thing to check off the to-do list. It's like, okay, I got this taken care of. And y'all know as well as I do, when you finish something, it's like, cool, that's done. And there's a feeling that comes across. Procrastinating prepper. I have wild wine berries. Are they good to eat or should I weed them out? I couldn't tell you. Maybe somebody else knows. I've never heard of wine berries. So I don't know. Let's see. Ooh, excuse me. Sherry Bennett. So what about the soldiers on cruise ships? August 23rd, nuclear lockdown games in other countries. Okay, I'm not understanding the question whatsoever. What soldiers on cruise ships? I don't know what you're asking. Hedge 774. Guys, sorry, I should have said stretch marks or something similar. Jalapenos should not have wrinkles. Much love from Tennessee. Yeah, I knew what you were talking about. You get, jalapenos green, you get this like tan line in it or whatever, and it actually looks like stretch marks or whatever. That's perfectly normal. So, Yes. Let's see. P Fletch 83. My Smith and Wesson Governor is stoked with 410 buckshot as my go-to home defense tool. I like options. There you go. Hey, again, whatever works for you. Somebody asked why I chose that. That is why I chose it. Does it work for everybody? No. Okay. Does it work for me? Yes. Okay. Let's see. It's Constantine. It's 4:19 in the morning, finally falling asleep. I might fall asleep when pinball sees me. There you go. Judy Boer, add sugar to the blanching water. I'm not, okay, you must be answering somebody else's question because we're going to talk about that. But I see this Disney have boiler up at Sutton's Days, SUTTONSDAZE. Let's see. Saffron Bay. If you add sugar to sweet corn to can it, it increases the odds of burning while canning. Okay. Let's see. Are you prepping? My dog identifies as a human. I think mine do too. They're like, what the hell are you feeding me dog food? I want stuff out of the refrigerator. Let's see. Dog tries to tell me what to do. It's always fun. Sometimes they win. Gypsy Soul. What solar panels for the Afery 2000? You guys know me. For the folding panels, the ones I like best are the 12C Van 120 watt panels. I mean, in my opinion, best for their price. They're most durable and easiest to connect with any different panel or any different generator because they have all the different adapters with the solar panels. So, frankly, it doesn't matter, and I'd pick that panel for any of them. Aaron MH, just say no to Asa Hutchinson. That's no problem. I think pretty much everybody in the country has. I'm not sure if his wife is going to vote for him yet, but we'll see because he keeps running at 0%. Did you guys see Mike Pence has not qualified for the debate? There's a couple of people who have qualified who I've never even heard of, but Mike Pence hasn't qualified. That tells you how much he pissed off everybody. Let's see. Going hot. RFK Jr. for vice president. Trump would be unstoppable. Except a lot of what they believe in is completely opposite, so it wouldn't work. Uh, I think you'd have too much butting heads there. No, we're doing this. Yes, you're doing that. No, that wouldn't work. Hedge 774. Can anyone tell me if I can plant potatoes now for fall, or am I too late? It depends on where you are. Okay. Uh, potatoes, depending if you get short season potatoes, 90-day potatoes, if you're in zones 6 and above, you can plant them. Zone 5, pretty much zone 5 or less, forget it. You're too late. So, let's see. The original Osuk, isn't that good Norwegian wood? It's probably more like Canadian pine, is my guess. It's all pine, so. RK says, I have a beautiful home. Thank you. We try our best. So, and we still got lucky as hell when we bought this place in 2019. I think I told you guys, I think this house sat on the market for 3 years and nobody bought it. And when we found it, we got it for a song. And so that was very nice. So, GC, what is eating my blossoms on my squash? Well, that's interesting. Eating the blossoms. I was going to say, if you're eating near the base, I'd say vine borers, but eating the blossoms. I bet at this time of year it's critters. I mean, it's maybe the deer or the raccoons or something like that. I mean, it if it's if it's bugs, I know we had a big problem here with Japanese beetles a couple of weeks ago. Uh, yeah, I mean you're gonna have to go out and look and see what's there. I mean I, that could be a lot. Shut to the bottom again. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna find where it was. Do. Okay. Canning Man says I find chicken and beef taste so much better canned. Uh beef, ground beef, absolutely. I think does. Uh, the one I'm not overly, and maybe you'll agree with this, not overly thrilled with is the way pork tastes canned. It comes out, it's kind of like a smoky taste, but not smoked like smoked, like making brisket or something like that, or you know, ribs or anything. Uh, chicken, really, I don't. I mean, because when we use chicken, we're using it in soups. The canned chicken, we're using it in soups or something. So I really can't tell the taste difference. But otherwise, I'll agree with you. Let's see. James Bohm, ground beef and sausage are both better canned. I do believe chicken breast is better canned too. I've never canned sausage. I'm assuming you mean like Jimmy Dean sausage or something like that. Uh, so yeah, that's worth. I mean, it's frozen already, so I mean, not that I'm overly concerned about doing it. We don't eat a ton of sausage anyway. Chicken breast, I'll take your word for it because most of what we eat around here is legs and thighs because Mrs. P likes dark meat and I'll eat either one of them. So if she doesn't want to eat the white meat and I'll eat the dark meat, we just buy the dark meat. Let's see. Stacy Boyd, hey Pinball, the garlic is doing great preserving the old way. Okay, cool. The one that you asked me for Mrs. B to translate that. So, I mean, I have no idea how that works, but if it's working great, I mean, if if it's fermenting it or whatever, that's what Mrs. P does with a lot of our garlic. So I never, like I said, I mean, I'm so freaking busy. I don't even know what's going on other channels. It's like, Christ, I've got a YouTube, I got a live stream tonight. So, we've been going since what when I put the video up this morning, 7 o'clock, and here it's quarter to 10. We didn't stop. So, yes, if you consider taking the break in the lake, I'm sorry, but when it's 85 degrees out with 90% humidity, you're not doing much else. Uh, KP Tiger, I'm not sure I understand you. How do you USA? Oh, how do you use? Okay. How do you use your canned potatoes? I haven't found a way I like yet. We fry them up as like a home fry. That is great. And a lot of times Mrs. P will use them in soups. Her cream of chicken soup, or if we're making borscht or something like that. They work great for that too because they're basically already cooked. So you don't have to wait that half an hour for the potatoes to cook while you're putting everything else in. It's like, oh, making borscht. This is real easy. Here's a can of beets, slice those up. Here's some potatoes, slice those up. Oh, let's get some cabbage in there. Poof, done. A little bit of carrot. Hey, what do you know? We've got soup in 10 minutes. Not an hour. Uh, Sharon W. What would cause mealy tomatoes? Oh, God, that could be a boatload of different things. I mean, that could be bugs, that could be too much water, that could be, I mean, basically, bugs or too much water are pretty much going to be your biggest ones. It could be a lack of fertilizer. So, yeah, it could be a calcium deficiency, your blossom end rot. So, Autumn West, in what order do I think utilities will be removed or turned off? The the only two that are important are electric and water. And because we can all live without cell phones, generations of people did that before. We can all live without the internet, generations of people did that before us. We can all live without TV, okay? And I know people say we can live without electricity, generations of people too. Right, okay? And I'll say the same thing again. Go shut off the power on Friday night at 6 o'clock and say you're not going to turn it on again until Monday morning at 6 o'clock and see how the family freaks out. Okay, we electricity has become a necessity, not a luxury. Water, hopefully you have some sort of your own way of getting water where you're not reliable on the city. But in what order do I think utilities will be removed or turned off? Oh, if they want to bad enough, it's electricity that goes. The rest of it people can deal with. Okay, but if electricity goes, you have chaos in the streets within 24 hours. Let's see. Ildiko, can I show us the pond in an upcoming video? Sure, yeah, next time I go out and do one outside, I can do that. Chants are good. Do I put beans in my chili? Yes, I do, but I use black beans just because I prefer them over kidney beans or chili beans or pinto beans or anything like that. I like black beans in my chili, so I make a black bean chili. And I grow black beans. So, Rob Dunson, my wife is putting together a bug out bag now. Excellent. So, Lorna Maya, Constantine, go get some sleep, brother. Let's see. Oops, Tennessee is now closed permanently. Yeah. It, with there's signs that on the border, maximum occupancy has been attained. Please turn around. No room at the inn. So, Don Oliver, best thing ever for Mrs. P. A taste of home. Yes, talking to Ella today. That was kind of cool. But both, I mean, I was just shocked. I was like, okay, but hey, cool. And then they were off yakking and Russian for half an hour. I was like, okay, have fun. Shivo 06 1944. I'm a no beans guy. The wife is a beans. I'm a chili lady, so I'm a beans and chili guy too. Yes, happy wife, happy life. Let's see. Gritter lover Jesse, how cool, Mrs. Pinball. Glad you made a new friend. Belly rubs for Daff and Copper. There you go. They'll appreciate those. Copper a lot more than Daffy. Daffy's not big on belly rubs. Copper will sit there for an hour. Let's see. Justin Bennett, do you water bath most things? I'm new to this. No, actually, I probably pressure can 95% of the stuff that we do can, just because I'm a meal canner as opposed to an ingredient canner. And just so you guys understand what that is, I will make chili and can it. I will make stuffed peppers. I will make beef stew and can it. There's a lot of people who will can the carrots, can the potatoes, can the onions, can the beef, and then dump 4 jars together to make beef stew. Okay. My point is that I've got to cook twice. I'd rather just cook once and warm it up once. So, no offense to people that do it. You do it your own way. Okay. But most everything that we can has meat in it, so therefore it's all going to be pressure cooked. Prepping for heaven. I love the knotty pine. Yeah, I mean, I always in my life I wanted a log cabin. This is the closest I ever got to be to one. But I love the wood in the house. I'm one of those people. I think it's it should be a capital punishment offense for people that paint wood. Okay, wood is meant to show off its natural beauty. Don't paint it. My opinion. Let's see. Mary L. I sometimes put rice in my chili. Rice is a good filler for most foods. I've never put rice in it though. I love chili mac. I mean, one of the things I will do with my chili is we'll boil up some macaroni, elbows and put it over the top. I mean, there's a great filler to it. Add some carbs to your chili, and now it's even a more complete meal. PJO 2179, wondering what skills Mrs. P wants to learn that she hasn't yet, prepping wise. I know the one that everybody and their mother wants her to learn, and that's how to drive. Uh, but yeah. Let's see. Soul Reaper. Excuse me. What's my favorite stew to cook in a crock pot? There's only a couple of things I make in a crock pot. I make corned beef in a crock pot. I'll make my chili in a crock pot if I'm making it just for dinner or something like that. And then I make macaroni and cheese, Velveeta cheese, macaroni, and then I like to use Jimmy Dean hot sausage in there. That's like the best macaroni and cheese ever. But that's about all I use a crock pot for. So. Uh, Jeffrey S., thank you for the super sticker. Appreciate that. For more contributions to the Christmas fund. Sorry, I gotta change. This isn't the world's most comfortable chair meant to be sitting in for an hour. Let's see. Goose Grouse, what do I think of Canada's internet censorship bill? I think Justin Trudeau needs to be drawn and quartered. Okay, I mean, why why don't you just turn into the Soviet Union? I mean, or China. We'll tell you what news you need to know. Oh, sure, because everybody trusts Justin Trudeau's judgment so much, that he'll tell us what the truth is and what's not. Yeah. Justin, tell me how that vaccine thing's going so far. How many people dead? Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Michigan lifestyle. What is the best soil? I'm guessing it's about soil for onions to grow. You need a lighter, fluffier soil. Onions are going to grow on the surface for the most part. They're not a subterranean root vegetable, but they don't grow 100% on top. So they're gonna need to be able to push some of that oil away. So a sandy loam is going to be your best soil for onions. Kevin Gaston, did I research Project Starfish Prime? Nope, never even heard of it, so couldn't begin to tell you if it's about the latest Transformer villain or if it's about sea life. I don't know. That keep a hand and a long tool, same Cal, doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. DT, what is my plan for communication if the cell towers are shut off and the same with the internet? Well, let's see. I've got two-way radios, walkie-talkies, CB radio, and I'm studying for my ham license. Okay. I think pretty much I've got every other type of radio covered. Let's see. Oh, John Pishla, congrats on 100,000. Long time coming. You earned every subscriber. YouTube made you work hard. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah. Obviously, Twitter won't ever allow me to get that far, but who knows? I'll gotta find where we shot down to here again. Let's see. Trying to find where I was. Okay. Grateful Preps, New Jersey. Will lanternflies hurt cucumbers? I believe they will. Okay. I know they're not down here. They're just up in that Pennsylvania, New Jersey area, but I believe they will decimate a cucumber crop. Let's see. Husker Didi, I canned your pork shoulder recipe. It's amazing. There you go. Good deal. Good old barbecue pulled pork. It's real good. Let's see. find where we are. Okay, here we go. Sandra Senkovich, love borscht. I'm Polish. Cabbage, yum fried is great with Polska kielbasa. Yes, I will agree with you there because I'm Polish as well. So, okay, let's see. C Stone, do I have a Wellbots code? The only codes you're ever going to get are when there's not like an ongoing code. If I come up and tell you about a special that's going on for a generator or whatever, that code will be good for a few days, maybe a week. That's it. Okay. If there's nothing new, which there hasn't been lately, then there's no codes. So, and they're not going to be like for every item. It's going to be on particular items that Elliot gets us a deal on. Von Mousetrap, Mr. P, your thoughts on the floats in the Rio Grande River that Abbott installed? I think they're great. I just wish he would have put some landmines on them as well. I think that would have made them a little more effective. So, but my theory on how to solve this. I say we build a fence on the border. We build a fence 1 mile in. Okay, 1 mile into Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California, and then what you do is you sell tickets. And you have open season, and anybody can go out there, and anything that is in that 1 mile radius, you can shoot at. I think that would solve the problem real easy, and it would raise some revenue for the U.S. government. So probably stop the illegal flow in a day or two. Caveman, look, I have to ask a hard. Am I blocked? No, because I can see your comment, so I don't know why. Nope, you're here. Huts John, do Mrs. P and I have cold weather sleeping bags just in case? Yes, we do. Because even though I'm in Tennessee, let's remember last Christmas, guys. Okay, it got down to 4 degrees here. That's cold. I don't care where you live. 4 degrees is cold. George's Garden. I wish someone would say maximum occupancy for Texas. I wish somebody would say it for the United States. Close the freaking borders, deport everybody who is not a citizen or a current green card holder, screw these dreamers and DACA recipients and H-1Bs and send them all back. My thought. Let's see. Terry Palazzolo. I fully agree with you on not painting wood. Your walls are beautiful and well done. I didn't do them. Okay, we bought the house this way, so stuff hanging on the walls, we took care of that. The walls, the only walls Mrs. P and I did were the ones in the garage. We made them look like this, so it's not difficult to put this stuff up. It's just time consuming, and it's not expensive. If anybody's ever thinking about doing this, I told you guys when we did the garage, we priced it out. It's about 25 cents a square foot more to do the tongue and groove pine than it is to do drywall, and this is easier. This is a DIY project. Drywall, you need to know what you're doing. I mean, I've done drywall, but this is a DIY project that anybody can do. If you know how to use it, if you know how to use a saw and a nail gun, you're done. Let's see. Brenda H. I have a favorite dry cleaning business here in Loveland, Colorado. The owner is Ukrainian. She's extremely kind and thoughtful. I gave her my business continuously. Yes, and then you're the same way I am in that respect. You treat me well as a customer, I will treat you very well as a business owner. You screw me once, you will never see me again. Vicky Savage, when I got my driver's license on my 16th birthday, I graduated from driven to chauffeur. There you go, yes. And the funny part is, those of us that are older, we couldn't wait to get our driver's license. Remember that? It's like, today's my 16th birthday. I got my appointment to get my driver's license. Now kids are like, yeah, I'm 19. Maybe I'll think about it. I mean, I saw something a few weeks back that this generation, there's more kids that are 16, 17 that don't have their driver's license than like any generation since the car was invented. And it's like, why? It's like, because the kids are lazy. Mom, take me here. Mom goes, okay. Most of us, it's like, go there yourself. Walk, take a bike, ride the bus, do whatever. If you couldn't drive, it's like, wasn't take me here. It's like, no, I've got to, I'm watching paint dry here. You can walk your ass to your friend's house. That's $9.59. Go figure. Angela Land, have I ever added up how many questions you answer in one live stream? No, I've never even counted. It's kind of interesting question. I don't know. It's fun because it's a question here, a question here, a question here. It's like go from this topic to that topic. It's like keep me on my toes. All right, one more here if we can find one. George Smink, how does one enter your drawings? You need to watch the videos where I announce them, and every entry is going to be different. So you need to pay attention to those videos, and you will figure out how to enter for that particular drawing. So, all right, guys, 'tis 10 o'clock. I got chili to go take out of a canner. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you in the morning. Pinball out.